Hello and welcome to Inside Music, episode number 194. As always, I'm your host, James Shotwell, and it is great to be with you again. How are you feeling out there? Are you good? Are you surviving this pandemic? Are you staying home? Are you washing your hands? I don't know about you, but I am really missing live music this week. But thankfully, I have a guest whose album is nearly as exciting as a great rock show. I'm speaking with none other than Lance, the king of black metal, otherwise known as one half of the band Taint, who will release their debut album, Sons of Midwestern Darkness, through TP Records on April 10th. Now, Taint is an incredible group who have been around since 2004, which may make you ask, why has it taken 16 years to release an album? Well, don't worry. We're going to get into that and much more during this conversation. But before we get there, I got to tell you one quick thing. Our sponsor this week is none other than Holix, the music industry's leading promotional distribution platform. And what that means is that Holix works with record labels and artists all over the globe to share new and unreleased music with tastemakers. If you go to holix.com today and sign up, you'll receive your first month of service absolutely free. Again, that's holix.com, HAULIX.com. Now, I don't want to waste any more of your time, so please sit back and relax and enjoy this conversation with Lance, the king of black metal, talking about Taint's upcoming album, Sons of Midwestern Darkness, due out April 10th through TP Records. Dig in. Doing today, Lance?
I'm really extremely extreme and pretty awesome in general. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. What is quarantine like for somebody who is, as powerful as yourself?
Well, it's not really that big of a deal because I've been self-isolating since the early 90s, at least. So I honestly didn't really notice that much of a difference until, I gradually, when people would start responding to my Craigslist ad that I had placed, that's when I kind of found out about everything that was going on. So for me, it's business as usual. And for Taint, this is really, it's obviously horrible what's going on, and hopefully the world will, we'll all get through this soon enough. But in terms of us and our album coming out, it's really the best thing that could have ever happened to us because people have no choice but to stay indoors and listen to our album over and over and over again, which we just, the second part of that equation, we're just kind of assuming once they hear it.
Well, absolutely. Now, I know that you guys hail from the world of Gary, Indiana, by way of Norway, obviously. Can you tell me a little bit about
I'm from it.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm from Indiana, and Matthias is from Norway. But we probably would have had the band set up in Norway, but just from an economic perspective, it was just cheap. Everything's cheaper in Indiana than it is in Oslo. It costs even a bag of combos in Oslo is $47.
How does someone growing up in Gary, Indiana, come into black metal? What was your introduction to the art form?
I was just trying to find the most extreme metal that I could find, and I needed some, I was trying to express my dark world view, and then also between that and the fact that I live near a guitar center, it was just seemed obvious to me that I should form the most extremely extreme black metal band of all time. So Taint, existed mostly in my mind for many years. And I don't know if you're familiar with the original Black Metal Dialogues emails. Have you had a chance to see those?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. So the roots of the band. That's how it started. Is me trying to get the band signed to a real Norwegian black metal record label, before I hadn't actually gotten around to writing any actual music yet, but I was so confident in what I knew the music would end up being that I was, confident enough to try to get a record contract. So it's really, this record's taken us longer to finish than Chinese Democracy, if you think about it, because it's taken 16 years, even though most of that was spent doing absolutely nothing in true underground fashion.
Now, when you began to think about those songs that you would eventually have to record, what comes first, the music or is it the lyrics that you're trying to get out?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, sort of the thing with them, we want to get our message across, and, a lot of the lyrics refer to the original emails. If you, sort of a bonus for people that are familiar with the original emails, they can hear there's references to those, but, it kind of comes together pretty quickly. The song started off just with, us mumbling into and even though we hate technology, most of the demos were done on our iPhones just by mumbling into them, and then we would, record them later. So the whole album actually exists on my phone with grunts and groans. We might release that as like a bonus when the deluxe edition of Sons of Midwestern Darkness comes out. It might come with my actual iPhone.
That's surprising to hear. I've spoken to a lot of musicians who record their ideas that way, but most of them are afraid their ideas will get out into the world one day.
Well, because of like the cloud or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. They think that their Notes app voice recordings might one day hit the world and people will hear them trying to figure out melodies on their phones.
Oh, well, we're not really afraid of that because we have there's like endless ideas. So even if we were to accident, this record's already manufactured and ready to come out in a few days here. But even if it didn't, we accidentally deleted all of it, we would just think of a bunch of other, even more awesomer songs to come out after that. You know what I mean? So not really worried about it.
Yeah, you guys.
I mean, that's like shit. Like, Kirk Hammett might have to worry about that, but we don't have to worry about that.
That's great. You guys are just about to release your first record in the near future, but I am curious, you've been percolating these ideas for so long. How much material is Witch Taint really sitting on?
Well, there's the original demo that I recorded with the session musician in 2004, I think, for the original demo of Necro Dream Raper, and that's unreleased. It was on our MySpace page, but then I think they might have deleted our MySpace page. And there is, I guess I have a lot of iPhone notes of me humming. But other than that, we recorded, I think we have a couple more songs. But I mean, I guess to answer your question, we pretty much have probably at least 10 more albums ready to go.
That's amazing. Now, people can read online, as you said, the Black Metal Dialogues and hear about you trying to find a label for quite a while, actually. But I'm curious, you guys eventually partnered with TP Records. So what made them the perfect home for Witch Taint?
Well, we thought it would be like, we really liked that label, even though, they have never put out anything as extreme as Witch Taint before, but they've also, they put out a lot of great records, the Painted Doll record, the Valley Lodge record, the Witch record, the Sweet Apple record, Atomic Bitchwax, so many great records. But really what it came down to is we needed someone to put the record out, and the president of TP, Kenny, we saw him driving into Costco in his van, and when he's like a really bad driver, honestly, and he parked in his space and went into Costco, and so we just parked our minivan. Well, it's not mine, it's my mom's technically. Parked the minivan behind his van and threatened to not move until he would agree to release the record. So that's kind of what it came down to, is just good timing, I guess.
Absolutely.
But they're a great label, and they have a cool logo, which was a big factor for us. And they said they would pay for stickers. We have not seen the stickers yet, but we figure that's going to be like coming, I guess.
Well, I hope so. I mean, you guys have a really strong visual presence online and everything that you do. And when I was hearing the record the other day, fortunate enough to do so, I was like, I need a Witch Taint shirt in my life. So I hope that there's plenty of merch on the horizon as well.
I'm staring at a box of Witch Taint shirts right now. If you send me your address, just text it to me. I'll send you a shirt as soon as I'm allowed to go to the post office. But yeah, we have the best T-shirts. I draw most of them myself, which makes them even more awesomer. Yeah, I'll be happy to send you. We have awesome shirts. I don't know if I have any stickers here or not. But then our album cover was done by Tim Lehigh, who's an amazing artist. And me and Matthias Backwards are both on Irritable Horses, which was cool. I don't know if you saw that.
I have not, but now I have to.
Oh, the covers, it's the best. It's like us, we're on horses and we're like riding, and you could tell the horses are like, oh my God, they're like seriously pissed off, but not necessarily pissed. We love animals, so it's not like they're pissed off at us, but they're probably like pissed off at, we're pretty pissed also, and it's just like everyone's pissed off. And then there's like hellhounds in the background who are like, what the fuck is going on, And then there's fire, which we had to pay extra for, but I think it was worth it.
Now, I'm curious, Witch Taint had a presence at Wacken Festival, one of the most notable music festivals in the world, if not the most, and I have been trying to attend myself for years. So can you tell me about the Wacken experience, especially for people who are unfamiliar? It seems like an overwhelming thing to be a part of as a musician, especially for someone as brutal as yourself.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, the thing is, like, with Wacken, we had only been, that was like not even maybe our 10th show ever. And that was when we were still a duo. Because, I forget if I talked about this already, but, we started was just me and Matthias Backwards reading the original emails on stage, and we did that, and then gradually got asked to perform at Wacken. And we were the only band to do all 4 days on the whole festival. So, take that, Mr. Big, and Judas Priest, and, some of the other bands, whatever. But it was awesome. I have to say, Wacken was one of the funnest experiences I've ever had in my life. And it was the best run, not just music festival, but the best run anything ever in my life that I've ever seen. It was no joke, that like amazingly well run. Everyone was just so nice, and like nothing, you think like 100,000 people, something is going to happen to like bum you out, like someone's going to puke on you or bump into you with their shirt off and be all sweaty. Literally nothing happened that was not awesome. Like, no one even litters there. It's amazing. And I met Gal from Gorgoroth and Gal's Beard, and I met Enslaved and met all sorts of people, and it was super fun. And it was at Wacken where we decided to become a full band, because by then we had been reading the emails on stage, and Matthias and I had added a few songs, but we're standing on a stage in corpse paint in the middle of Germany reading from our laptops, and a lot of these people, at least half the people, were really confused as to what was going on. But then whenever we'd play the music, the whole place would go crazy. So I think after like the second day, we were just like, let's just finish a whole record and go out and play as a band. So then we went home and started working on the album. And now, so we're super psyched. It's just been like, 16 years, but also even just the last 3 years to have, gone from playing St. Vitus, which is, pretty much the CBGBs of metal at this point in America. And then, to go to that, and then we did South by Southwest and Oslo with Fenris and Dark Throne in the front row, and then, London, and then Wacken, and have the record finally coming out, and have people, so far, what we've been hearing, everyone's really digging the record, and, a lot, guys like Phil Anselmo and Chris Reifert from Autopsy, and Pepper Keenan from Corrosion and Conformity, and Micus from Venom, and Malthus from Carpathian Forest, like all these, guys from, big bands that are awesome. All those bands are total pussies compared to Witch Taint, but you know what I mean? In general, they're awesome. Just to have all those bands, be fans of ours, and help us out by, guests appearing on the record, and being in the music videos and things like that is pretty awesome. But then also, like, my sister likes it, and she's not as metal as you might think. So it kind of covers a lot of ground.
I find that there is a lot of fun on the record, a lot of fun to be had that I don't really think is in a lot of metal, especially the heavier end of metal where you guys come from. What is the secret to balancing the heaviness with the fun? Or is it fun because it's so heavy?
Oh, that's the eternal question. But I think we wanted to make a record that combined, where Matthias and I are. Oh, I don't know if you hear in the background, but Lucifuge, my dog, she does a barking solo on Death to Death Metal, and now she's barking at somebody else. But she stopped barking. But we wanted to combine all the different kinds of metal that we love, whether it's black metal or new wave of British heavy metal, or everything, and punk, and combine all the different music we like, and have it also be like something that metal fans can get into, but also like people that, one thing I love about our shows is that there's metal fans, but then there's people that aren't into metal at all, and they're just out having a good time singing along. And we wanted to make it so not only would we want to sing the songs, but everyone would want to sing them. So we wanted to do something that we hadn't heard anyone do before, and have it be just something, for everyone to enjoy. I mean, obviously some people are going to hate it, but I think all kinds of people can get into it. And so we're, once we're all allowed to go out of the house again and all that, we're excited for people to, we'll get out and play this music for people. And we have a full band now. It's not just me and Matthias Backers. We have La Sinistra, the opera singer, on the record, and she's in the band now. And then we have, we have 6 of us now in the band. So it's easier to carry the equipment that way.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to keep you for too much longer, but I am curious, when you have a record like this rolling around in your head for so many years and you're getting ready to put it out, what kind of expectations do you guys have for the release itself? Do you have any hopes or dreams for the record, or is it just good enough getting it out there to the people?
Well, I mean, one of the things about being one of the greatest and cultist, most underground bands of all time is whatever happens, you can't lose. It's like when you're an underground cult act doing absolutely nothing for 12 years, 13 years, or however long, that's like total success. But then if you do a lot of stuff, that's cool too. So with this record, on the one hand, we'd love for it to come out and become really popular and have people love it all over the world. And, we're already hearing from people all over the world about it who are getting into it, and also hearing from people telling us to go fuck ourselves, which is also awesome. But whatever happens, it's, I think whenever you make anything, you got to make it for yourself to dig it. And then, if no one else digs it, at least you entertain yourself, So hopefully everyone all over the world, this would be like, it would be like the Beatles or something. But, if it doesn't work out that way, we're still super psyched that the record's out in the world finally, and that, the people that want to hear this kind of music can hear it,
Absolutely.
That's
now,
Lucifuge again in the background.
That's perfectly fine. Happy to have them make a special appearance on this recording. Now, we're going to try to get this episode out in time for the album release that's coming up very soon. However, due to the current state of the world, there is not a Witch Taint concert that night. I think I saw you guys do have a release show planned this summer, tentatively. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to do one originally tonight. We were supposed to be playing our record release show in New York City, but yeah, that's postponed now to June 16th. And, I'm not really counting on that happening, partially because of coronavirus, but also we're having troubles with our van. The alternator on it is out. So between those two things, I don't have high hopes. But this Friday, I think at 8 p.m. on our Facebook page, we're going to do a Facebook Live thing, and then people can join in from all over the world, and we're gonna have special things going on. So we will celebrate with the world on Friday.
Well, that's great to hear, and I'm wishing you, the two of you, or I guess I should say the six of you, all the best, and I hope that you make it through this as well.
Seven.
My yeah, dog it was also. Fuge. Obviously, that was my bad. Yeah. Back on it. I do wish you guys the best. Sons of Midwestern Darkness coming out April 10th through TP Records. You can get the record wherever you access music. It's worth your time. I do want to thank you one more time for being on the show. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, everyone stay hydrated. It's really important, regardless of the coronavirus. You should always drink a lot of fluids. And you should also always wash your hands. So these are good habits that we can carry on once this is all over. But in the meantime, everyone stay at home and self-isolate, social distance, and listen to Witch Taint nonstop.